Good morning, Modern Steaders. It is a cold, chilly morning up here at the off-grid property, and we have the spray foam guys coming today. So we need to get the house warmed up and above freezing so they can start insulating without any issues. It luckily stayed above freezing all night long, and we lost most of our snow overnight. Look at this. But that wind is some fierce. Get some light on in here. Oh, there we go. I can't get over how windy it is. I am excited to get it insulated because once it gets insulated, then we can start getting the solar hooked up. Door. I hate these damn safety latches. Oh, 5 hours later, we finally got a quarter gallon of gasoline. Gosh, what a pain. Safety Sally's won again. So luckily this morning, right now it is 29 degrees out, so we don't have to warm it up too warm for the spray foam. We want to keep the house warm for the workers, but we don't need to have it, we don't have to worry about getting it really hot in a short period of time for the spray foam. The other nice thing about the spray foam is when it comes out of the gun, the two chemicals meet and they make a chemical reaction, and that chemical reaction causes heat, and it'll actually help warm it up in there. So we're going to start with the powerhouse and bathroom. They're gonna get that all wrapped up and insulated, and then they're gonna go upstairs and get the upstairs ceiling done, and that'll help trap the heat in the house. Then they'll come back down to the first floor, get this done, and then they'll come out here. I'm gonna put a tarp over this side, and that'll actually help keep some of the wind out from above too. So I'm gonna do that once they start spraying on the other side. I'm not sure if it's gonna take 2 days or 3 days. I guess we'll find out. These guys do a really good job. We had them do our current house that we're living in now and our workshop and milking room. They're so neat. They cover everything with plastic. They pick up their mess when they're done. We won't even be able to tell that they were here, other than everything will be spray foam. It's awesome. I love working with a crew that knows what they're doing. That should help keep it a lot warmer in the house. You know it's gonna be warm enough when you come inside and your glasses fog up. We're doing good.
I'll grab that. messy, that's for sure.
Ah, you can probably hear me better now. They're doing a good job. That stuff is messy. The camera, even though I'm staying back, is covered in foam. I got a little bit of overspray on my glasses, but man, does such a good job insulating. I don't know if you guys can see when they're spraying it, it goes and it fills in all the cracks and crevices and it glues the whole structure together. It's gonna make it so there's no air penetration, which is good. We don't want air penetration coming through the house, so it's gonna seal it up nicely. We'll have to add in, we'll have to drill out some holes and add some fresh air into the house because it's gonna be so tight, but it's gonna be good. Using spray foam makes a building 300% stronger because it glues everything together and ties it all together. It's actually how they make the domes. Don't know exactly what they're called because I'm not a big sports guy, but the big domes that they have like at the football stadiums, they're covered in foam because foam is a structural support. So it's kind of cool how foam works. We've used it in, this will be the third house out of 4 that we own. The first house that we owned was built in, I think, 1890. And believe it or not, it was all rough sawn lumber. It wasn't timbered. A lot of the old houses like that, the carrying beams and stuff are just trees, like a whole log. Ours wasn't. It was rough sawn lumber. It was right on the Connecticut River, so there must have been a sawmill right in the area where they could get the lumber milled. But all of the spacing was off. There was no like 16 inches on center or 2 foot on center. Some were 2 feet, some were 25 inches, some were 30 inches on center. It was crazy. So the first time we did spray foam was when we redid the upstairs in that house because I'm like, how else am I gonna insulate something like this? You can't insulate something like that with fiberglass. So we did spray foam and I fell in love with it. I know a lot of people say it's toxic. It is as they're spraying it when they off gases, but once it's completely dried, it's not toxic. And fiberglass insulation and Roxwool insulation, I've used all those in the past. Those are nasty. You have a lot of nasty dust you're breathing in. Roxwool insulation, and I find Roxwool insulation is worse than fiberglass for all that itchy stuff in the air. We did not like it. We used it on the shipping container cabin. I wasn't impressed with it, so I don't want to use it in our houses. So we're gonna do the spray foam. We're loving it. And they don't insulate as well. Enough jabbing. Let's get in here. I want to hook up a heater in here and get some heat going, and that'll help blow the heat over to the other side.
You can feel the heat coming off of the foam. It's really starting to warm it up in here now.
curious if any of the zip tape has got pushed out in some of the cracks or not. So far, I'm not seeing any bulges. Nope. I have not seen any bulges or any areas where spray foam has come out anywhere. So that's good. It is sealing it all up nicely. And we've done a good job sealing up all the cracks and crevices. They're all done in the powerhouse and bathroom area. Be ready to move upstairs now. You got it, Chris. Works. The upstairs is all done. Now we're gonna come down here, we're gonna spray the greenhouse side, and then after the greenhouse side, we just have the back and the front wall of the center downstairs. We're doing good. They say they're doing good. Well, we are just about done. We have, I shouldn't say we, they have above the stairs to do, and then up high, the rest of this wall is all done. And then they just need to get this back wall so close to being finished. We'll finish it in the morning, but man, it is looking good. I'd bring you upstairs and show you upstairs again, but it is still off-gassing upstairs and it stinks up there, so I don't want to go back up there till the morning. So I'll show you guys that in the morning. I'm gonna go home, go to bed, and we'll see you back here in the morning. Good morning. Hope I don't have any peanut butter on my face. I was eating a blueberry bagel with peanut butter on it on my ride over. No, I think we look good. Awesome. Back up here at the off-grid property this morning. It is a brisk 20 degrees out, and we need to finish doing the spray foam. We're so close. They had almost enough on the truck yesterday, but we're a little shy. We have less than a full wall, or probably about a full wall to do. So I need to get into the main part of the house and get it heated up because we want to make sure the walls are warm when they go to spray. It's nice and warm in here now. I think I heard the truck. Thank you guys. Thank you. There they go. Now we are all insulated and we're gonna be ready for solar. We got a few more things we need to do before we can get the solar installed in here, but we are ready to start on the next steps. This is huge, you guys. Oh, this right here is going to be the powerhouse, and this room right here is why we built this whole building, because the goal was this year is to put all of our big infrastructure in, meaning roads, driveways, septic, solar, and in order to have the solar up here working, we need a powerhouse. And if you're gonna have a powerhouse, it needs to be heated because the solar components cannot get below freezing. And if we did its own building, like we were thinking like a shed, then we'd have to always heat that. And I was like, at first, we could put like a little propane monitor heater out there for the first year, no big deal. But then I was like, every year, I gotta keep that heated. That's just gonna be a pain. So I was thinking, what can we do to keep it in a building that we're always gonna want heated? So then we came up with the idea of building the outdoor kitchen first, which that's why we call it the off-grid house, because it's not gonna be where we always live. We have an outdoor kitchen at our property right now and we love it, but we wanted to modify it and make it a little bit more usable. So that's what we were doing here. And then we said, well, if we're gonna do an outdoor kitchen, we want to be able to live in it, so let's do a second story. So we ended up putting the second story on so we can have our bedrooms up there, because we were originally thinking about having a camper, but then you got to buy a camper, and then trying to live in a camper in our climate when it gets, say, negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, that would not be comfortable. And we'd be dealing with freezing water and all this stuff. So we're like, well, do we build a garage, put the camper in the garage? So we decided, no, let's build the outdoor kitchen, the harvest house, off-grid tiny house, whatever you want to call it. And that's how we ended up where we are. Trying to figure out what we build is something that will benefit us and our homestead in the long run. And this building is going to do that. And that's all thanks to the powerhouse. So, as you can see, we did a lot of thinking, and it feels good to have it insulated.